Hello, folks. Welcome to our podcast, One Step Over the Line. Today, I have a good friend of mine. We go back decades, Alexis Arveo. Alexis has a story that will blow you away. Before you kids were even on the internet, he became a millionaire on the internet. Alexis,
tell us your story. I really don't want to take all that credit, but thank you very much, Kenny.
Welcome. Thanks for coming, buddy.
And thank you for going in, but it's not all that, but yes.
Well, tell us your story. Tell us about your upbringing, the early days of your life with your parents.
Well, my father came from Cuba in 1953 with my mother, and my brother was born in 54 in Mount Sinai Hospital in Miami, and then my parents moved to Daytona, Ormond Beach, Florida. And then my father was a doctor for 35 years there, head of NASCAR. So I grew up as a spick in Ormond Beach, Florida, surfing, having fun, burning weed at a very young age.
Good for us.
Yeah, well,
can I ask you
back in those days, you were going to get yourself in major problems.
You could get it. I always tell everybody, what they don't realize today is back when we were kids, you could get a year in jail for a joint. But let me ask you a quick question. So this is interesting. I never thought about this, even though I knew it. Your dad came from Cuba. Was he a doctor in Cuba?
He did his residency and everything at Mercy Hospital here in Miami. Then he did his internship at Mount Sinai. In 1956, they left to Daytona because he had a great opportunity in Daytona, and then they moved in with the Francis, which were the founders of NASCAR. The
founder of NASCAR, right.
So my dad was a doctor when Lee Petty won the first Daytona 500.
Right, so Lee would have been Richard's...
But my dad was a doctor when they raced on the beach.
Wow. Lee was Richard Petty's father. He raced before Richard. But so what you're saying is, now that I think about it, timeline-wise, and I never thought about this, your parents left Cuba before Castro.
Oh, way before.
Yeah. So
my mom went to school in Switzerland, and she went to school in Massachusetts at Stoneleigh. So my mother was always, and my grandfather were Cuban, but we're all descendants of Spaniards.
Right, you're Spaniard-Cuban.
Okay,
right,
so
right.
I'm Mallorquino on my father's side and French on my mom's side.
I never even knew this.
I didn't even know this until the last 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I go, my grandfather was French, and I don't even like French people that much. No,
he loves them all. But if you live in Florida, French Canadians can be a little trying on your patience.
So growing up in a little surf town called a Spick, had to fight. My dad goes, "What did they call you? Go tomorrow and beat the fuck out of everyone."
So Ormond Beach was like Hollywood, Florida.
That's
back then.
where Rockefeller considered the #1 place in the world to live, which is still the richest man in the world in his trust, dead or alive.
Really?
And my mother was the auxiliary board of the Rockefeller of the Casements, right next to where. And his country club is where I started to play golf when I was 3 years old.
So that's interesting. So I know we're going to go in. Don't worry, we're going to go into.
That's where Henry Ford, where the Prince of Wales, where everyone came. And then they used to go to Jekyll Island where the Federal Reserve was.
So you started playing golf at a young age. Now we're going to get into the part where he definitely took one step over the line. But a lot like me, you really were surrounded by wealth and upper crust.
Super wealth. And my dad was a Cuban Ricky Ricardo doctor. In the middle of Ormond Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
Oceanside Country Club, which was the Rockefeller Country Club back in the day. You know, he passed away in 1930-something there at the Casements, which is the rock down the street from where I lived. So we had the founders of Coca-Cola. We had Pepsi-Cola, my mom's good friends, Anheuser-Busch. Ormond Beach, Florida's got a lot of character and a lot of wealth.
So when you think of wealth in Florida, you think of Palm Beach. Palm Beach is old money.
No,
it
wasn't like Ormond Beach. Ormond Beach has got all the wealth.
Right, it's the older money. Interesting story. And so you did that. You became a golf. Both you and your brother. Your brother was a golf pro. You were both golf sensations, right?
And my brother brought me up playing golf because my brother was like my second father.
Yeah. Yeah. How much older was
he? Was 12, almost 13 years older.
Oh, I thought he was 8 years older.
No, almost 13 years old. So he's the one that used to travel and bring me to all the tournaments because my dad was a doctor. He couldn't go.
Yeah.
But he brought me into the discipline of playing golf.
Right.
So everyone wanted to be football players and basketball players. I always said, I want to be a professional golfer for the rest of my life because you know what? Country club, looking good.
Totally.
And we can do it to the day we die.
And nobody ever hits you. No 300-pound guy hits you.
And we always look good. And here I am at 58 years old. And
you look great, man.
Better than most.
Brother.
Right?
You certainly do. So, and especially for what you've been through. You went to college. Tell us, did you go to...
University of Florida.
All right. So that's, again, where all the smart people go and the money back then.
Oh, it was a smart back in the day. I was a 2.7.
Yeah, right. Well,
my dad always told me, street smarts before discipline and golf. So it's a discipline. When you play golf and you play tennis, it's all discipline.
Yeah. And you're also surrounded by all the richest people and people.
Yeah, but I was a Cuban spick.
Yeah,
so I had to go ahead and gain my respect.
You had to be better.
I had to fight my ass off.
Yeah.
But I was always respected. Went to a private school, while all my other friends went to the public schools, which was big. But I was brought up also by a second mother, Dorothy Powers.
Yeah, remember Dorothy?
That you got her the car.
Yeah, Dorothy's car.
Yeah, you did. You got her the Buick Skylark or whatever it was. And still, they're like my family, her daughters and everything. And we grew up in a very privileged.
So did I. And
I'm grateful every day. When I pray every day, I say, wow, I can't be more grateful. Doesn't matter if I lose it all, or I make it again, or I lose it, and you know that.
Yeah.
You know,
you've made and lost a few
and everyone
fortunes.
knows that. So
yeah. So you went to college, got out of college. What was your first endeavor out of college?
I was a derelict, so I was there with all my respect. I came back to Daytona, surfing, smoking weed, whatever. And my dad goes, "This is 1987."
Okay.
And my dad told me, "Cásate, or get your ass to Miami and start working." Cásate means get married, do whatever you have to do. And I go, with my Cuban cousins. And he goes, Cubano arrepentido, that means a repented Cuban. Get your ass to Miami. So he told my brother to come pick me up. And my friend said, you'll be back. You'll be back. I go, I'm not coming back.
You knew that.
I came to Miami.
You knew that. Why did you say
And then the family set me up with the mother of my children and got married to her very young.
How old?
I was 22.
Wow. And you're not somebody to settle down.
And she was like 19.
Yeah. I remember.
And then we started having kids right away. I was like stressful, anxiety. And then my mentor was a Jewish person named Larry Marks. And then all of a sudden Hurricane Andrew hit. And then I put my own construction company. And I started rebuilding and starting to do that.
Really?
Then it went into biomeds later on because I get bored of things.
See, I had no idea. Bored. I've known you for 30 years and I've never known this stuff.
That's a long time. You met me when I started going out with somebody you know.
Yeah. Not to be mentioned.
And then they said, and they talked amazing things about you.
And my ex-wife.
Your widow wife. This is.
Well, she's not my widow. She passed. Unfortunately, she passed.
That's the mother of your children.
That is.
Period. End of story.
No, exactly. Karen passed.
She
this
gave
weekend.
you the two most beautiful things you ever had in your life.
And so did your wife. So.
Correct.
So when did that one step? Was there a one step over the line moment?
So you want to hear about the biomeds?
Well, I think that. Well, no, you might have.
You want to hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
There might be more than one step over the line. There's certain things you did through your life. But there was that.
Okay, so let me just go straight to the point.
Okay.
So there was a friend of mine that passed away from a brain tumor. His name was Earl Baez in Coral Gables, and people were asking me, "Hey, you play golf?" I go, "Yeah, I play golf." But golf wasn't cool. Before Tiger Woods is when I played golf. Then Tiger made it the most incredible. Now everyone wants to play golf.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah.
So then he goes, "Oh yeah, Alexis, I want to bring your brother and I to go play in Doral." That's when I met Orlando.
Big Doral, yeah. That's your.
And he had an investment banking firm, a boutique. And then all of a sudden, someone kept on coming to me. Viagra came out. Lifestyle medications are coming out. Let's do an online pharmacy. And I said, okay. So I went to my dad.
And what year was this?
1999.
Yeah, so online
when
was
technology was just coming out.
Just, yeah.
You can't pull things off the shelf at the time. You had to build the website. You had to. Now we just pull something off. We make it work. We put it on TikTok. We make it work.
Well, back then a website might cost you 10 times what it cost you today.
No, it was a $50,000 investment.
Right.
And my business plan was to make $1 million between 3 partners.
You blew that out of the world.
We did that in the first month.
Yeah, tell us how you got started. And I remember you telling me about waking up every morning and looking at the computer and seeing how much it was insane. But tell me how the company got started.
Too far into that.
Yeah. We'll come back.
So how it happened was this guy keeps on coming to me, and he goes, "Alexis, can I be the one that does the website for you? Invest $50,000." So I went to Orlando, and then I met Marshall, which was my other partner. And then they said, let's get 10 names. This is when GoDaddy and all that kind of stuff. This is when you could get a .com or something.
Right.
So I picked up the first one, buymeds.com. So I went to the office the next day, their investment banking firm, and I said, I got the one. Forget about the 10 that you're supposed to get, and the 10 the other one. They go, buymeds.com. I paid $12.95 for buymeds.com.
Imagine what it's worth.
And
today.
then I told my dad, I go, Dad, I'm going to do a ¿Qué telemedicina? What telemedicine? How are you going to be patient-doctor relation? How are you going to do it? You're crazy. And I go, Dad, I'm crazy, but I'm taking a risk. Let's see what happens. So then we built the first telemedicine platform ever. Forget Teledoc. That came way later in the COVID days.
Right.
I wish it would have been a little bit of timing on my side, because then we'd be valuated at $100 billion.
Right. You're too early in the game.
We were too early. We were the pioneers of the game.
Right.
Orlando Berberger, me, and Marshall Canner.
Wow. Crazy.
As much as we're always in arguments and everything, but they're my boys. Okay? So then all of a sudden, we went for a year building the site. Then all of a sudden we went live. The first day of the opening of Hailstones and Coral Gables. And me bombed. And he goes, 16 orders, 35 orders. So, and me going through a divorce at the time, everything.
I remember, yeah.
And I said, wow, my Porsche is backlogged like a month, 2 months. And I go, wow. I go to the office, and there's Marisela on the phone. And I go, what are you doing here? Because we were broken up at the time. And all of a sudden, everything's blowing up. Like, boom, boom, boom. It was like, everything was on my side.
Yeah. All the stars lined up.
Even though I was ripped out of my mind going out every day, and my dad going, I can't give you no more money to go ahead and pay everything. He did.
Your dad backed it? Part of it.
He didn't back anything. He backed me.
Right, to keep you going till the end.
Keep him going to fuck around.
So back then, you needed tell me how it worked. How did they get their medicine? How did they find you on the internet?
Okay, so you got doctors in a telemedicine site, the same thing they do nowadays.
Was your dad one of the doctors?
One of them.
Right, okay. He signed this.
You know what my dad told me at the time? I'm going to say it the way it is. I'm going to tell you the truth.
I want you to.
My dad says, do whatever you want with my license. So I used to make another 20 grand a week, having my dad get paid.
And by the way, you're talking about 1990, so that's 40 grand today.
Well, 2002, 2003.
Still, it's 20 years ago. It would double every, it's...
No, but we did 23 million our first year. We did 44 million our second year. It's all in Google. So there's nothing.
So the first year. So let me see what would happen. Someone found you on the internet, however you market it, however they did that, and it says Viagra. Have it shipped to your house.
Viagra, Xanax, Aprozalam,
Oxycontins and all that?
No,
no.
We didn't do no. But we did do muscle relaxers.
Yeah, okay, Soma, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So was there 60 pills or maybe 6 or 8?
No, there was only 10. 12 items.
Okay, perfect. Better.
Then we had a big affiliate program.
With other suppliers that they could
Not
go.
other suppliers, other affiliates that sold for us because we had 180 URLs.
Oh, you applied, you gave other affiliates.
So we weren't only buy meds, everything used to flow to us.
Vitamins, things like that?
Anything but only like 15 items.
Okay, so someone would find you on the internet, your company, they would say...
Because we're the biggest in search engine. Before Google, we used Yahoo.
Yeah.
Then Google came out. Then we spent $200,000 a month on Google.
Before anybody did.
Before anybody did.
Yeah. It's like I was on eBay before anybody. They says to me, you're our top 50th customer in the auto business. I go, why? Because I'm the biggest dealer or because I spend $12,000 a month?
Correct.
It's because I spend, that's all they take me for dinner because,
Same.
Yeah. So
I had a vision before everyone else. It was like a...
you did.
It's like a...
So again, let me just figure it out. So they find you on the internet. They click what they want. How would they get a televisit? What we call today a televisit. You wouldn't have that.
I used to get.
They would fill out an application.
I used to hire physician assistants.
Okay, PAs.
And then PAs, and then the doctors were there, but the doctors never.
They just sign
because it was a gray area back then.
Right, well, of course.
So we had opinion letters by every attorney in the country. So each state is different.
Right. Okay.
So I had to go out to the different pharmacies because we were a telemedicine. We weren't a pharmacy. Everyone thinks that we're a pharmacy.
Right.
All I did was, what are you going to fulfill for me, and how many scripts you want, and how many could you fulfill?
And then they give you back
from Chicago, Pennsylvania, because we couldn't only do. We started in Miami,
right? I didn't.
But we can't go ahead and ship. Now we had to have Midwest.
Oh,
yeah.
An affiliate.
So I was the one that had to go as a social person to make a deal with you that you owned a family pharmacy in Iowa,
right? Little
where
town,
everything went to hell.
Yeah.
Okay, but it didn't go to hell when I was there. They just kept on going, and then.
And we'll get to that. The down. So what would happen is somebody eventually would go from a PA to a doctor. It wouldn't. There was no.
It was.
But nobody saw.
Honestly, very few were denied.
I understand.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
I mean, let's talk the reality.
Well, I mean, the drug, everybody, it still does that today.
So they used to call us drug dealers with ties on.
Yeah.
Con corbata. Marimbero con corbata.
What does that mean?
That means drug dealer with a tie on. But I didn't look at it that way because I never dealt drugs in my life. So pharmaceuticals, being a family of doctors, I thought, I'm doing good. Well, I took away from the CVS's, the Walgreens, because now you don't have to go to your doctor. You just pay a consulting fee to your doctor, and it gets delivered to your door.
Right.
So to me, I thought everything's great.
And
but that was a disruption
in the market
to the pharmaceutical,
right? Which doesn't
just like oil and gas,
and they
tobacco and firearms, pharmaceutical,
and they don't like disruption.
So why did they get arrested? For tax evasion.
Right.
That's where
I remember. We'll get to that.
We're not going to go to that.
No, we can go to that, but not yet. So what?
And you're the one that brought me in.
So what ended up happening? Yes, I drove you to the jail. I drove him in on
to the feds.
Yep, to drop you off at the courthouse at the jail. Yeah. So
he did do that. He lent me a car for the last couple months.
Let me tell you something though. He walked in. I'll never forget that morning. He walked in resolute. You walked in, no upset, nothing. Just see you later, buddy. I'll see you in a couple of years. And
we have breakfast at Sergio's.
So let me ask you. So the person would go online.
So from Fisher Island to the Fed.
Yeah. What they say from. From
what happened? That's a reality.
No, yeah. There was. I had a guy that was living in my warehouse. He was Don Johnson's bodyguard, and I got him the job at the time during Miami Vice, and he had to go to the they flew him in a Learjet with Don Johnson to the White House. He was his bodyguard. So I used to make fun of him. I go, Ronnie, you went from the warehouse to the White House. So let me back to what you were doing, though. So someone would go online, they'd order the drugs, and so I didn't realize this. So some little mom, pa, whoever wanted to be the provider would provide.
Well, I would tell somebody,
did they mail it to
I'm going to give you 150 scripts.
Yeah, and that's great.
So in the queue.
Yeah.
So I would give you in Chicago, another one in Houston.
And
I'd
they're
say,
loving you.
How many can... Of course, I'm
That's
making everyone millions.
There's a guy in the back. He doesn't have. He's just pumping out prescriptions.
That's it. I wasn't an office guy.
and they would-
Orlando was the president and CEO, and then Marshall was the brains with the surgeon. Then we had another guy named Wolf, that was the chief technology officer,
right.
making sure that we were in the top.
Right,
And the top one or two or three, and Yahoo, Google, and all that.
Then they would mail it to the person's house.
It wasn't like it is nowadays. You know, here the TikTok, and the Instagram,
and
the
you can't.
influencer. Back then, it was search engine optimization. Who's at the top of the list?
Right.
So at 2 a.m, he makes sure that we were 1, 4, 5, 2, 1, 3.
Because at 2 a.m, people are up bored shopping on the internet.
And then everyone was ordering. So
Do you
it didn't
know-
matter if I was asleep, if I was fucking, if whatever I was doing,
You woke
it
up.
was money.
You woke up with a paycheck.
The way it is now, but we were way back. We
Oh,
were
I know.
Visionaries.
You
way
know,
back.
like Home Shopping Network back in that door. They're still on, but everybody bought the stuff late at night when they were bored.
Yes.
Sitting up, having drinks, lonely,
Yeah.
go shopping. So people would get the drugs in the mail then, right? So if you ordered Viagra, it came in the mail.
Yeah, it came in the mail. You got it approved by your doctor,
Right.
and it comes in your
Well,
mail.
your
and
doctor-
you don't have to tell your wife that you're receiving Viagra.
Right, and
on your door.
and the their doctor was one of your doctors, right? It was
Yeah, we had
of
a
course,
doctor in the
right.
queue.
Right, it just rolled through, right?
So the doctor gets 20 a day,
Right.
40 a day,
Whatever he wants.
The other one goes, and then
Yeah.
prescriptions are done. They
Boom.
listen to your medical thing.
And then they
That's where telemedicine started.
I
We are the
understand.
ones that brought
right.
telemedicine.
How did the doctor? They would fax over, I guess, or email over the
No,
prescription.
they do it on a.
They have a whole-
Not a Zoom. It was called.
But wait, we didn't have Zoom. But I'm saying, how would
No, but it was okay. So there was telemedicine where it was just you fill out an
a
app.
form, right?
Sometimes they had to call you on the phone
Verify. Okay.
if they see that you have some type of problem.
Okay. Verify.
But everyone was always approved.
Right. I understand.
That's the way it was.
I understand. It's like that
Nothing's
today.
not approved. Yeah,
Don't worry, they're still doing it today.
they're all approved now.
Everybody's approved. So as long as they're paying, or the insurance company, and would insurance pay for it, or was it all?
No, we were all
cash?
cat
That's brilliant.
and merchant. That's it.
yeah.
So everyone always says, "Oh, Alexis, you got involved in Medicare."
No.
We never took no Medicare. It's credit card,
Yeah.
cash, and back in the day.
Whatever they
That's
can
it.
pay. Yeah. However, they got to pay for it before they
Because
get
you
it.
wanted that service.
Yeah, and
You didn't want your wife to go ahead and see the package to get there.
Yeah.
Even if it was a Xanax that you're addicted to.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I don't think I did anything wrong,
I don't think you did either. I would
but
tell
then
you.
people kind of contradict that. I kind of sometimes feel guilty later on, but then everyone gives me credit. You're the founder of Bimeds. Oh my God, that was the most brilliant thing in the world. Right?
Right.
But you know what? We never had a patient pass away. Because if not, I would be in jail forever. But I was bought out by Orlando. They continued.
Right.
I was done. Remember, my case was...
So there came a
We'll go
point.
into that in another-
Well, no, I mean, okay. So you were living. I remember you were telling me you'd wake up in the morning and just turn on the computer and you'd see you made
500 grand.
in one night.
No, every day.
Every day.
But that's a gross.
I understand.
That's gross.
I understand. You had 500 in
Then
sales.
all my expenses.
Well, the doctors, the PAs, the mailing, the internet.
Yeah, it was sick. It was sick.
What was your overhead? Do you remember what it was a year or a day to run that? And I'm sure it got bigger and bigger, the overhead as it.
Well, you should take 100 grand a week on the K1, and then I took 49,000 for that, and then all my expenses. I used to open up the drawer and I had all my backup checks, and I used to have to write down check number, the thing, and I go, shit, this is 87 grand. I have to go deposit. God, this is a nightmare.
Oh, wait a second. You'd have a stack of uncashed
because
checks.
your secretary. Okay, so my secretary used to put him in my office like a junk drawer. Remember back when you were doing your things back in the day? Remember you had $5 bills and $10 bills all over?
I found 10,000 in a light bulb box one time.
So mine was 87 grand in checks of reimbursement.
Right.
Yeah,
then you were just laying there.
And then I had to go ahead and say, gosh, I have to take an hour now to put the check number, to go to the bank and deposit.
Right, they didn't have.
And I go, shit, I gotta go deposit 87 grand.
Yeah, back then they hardly had drive-throughs. Well, they did have drive-throughs, but they certainly couldn't take a picture of it and deposit.
I would.
And by the way, you're not going to deposit an $87,000 check
now
in
I'll
a
fucking
picture.
kill for that.
Exactly. It's like I say, I have a suitcase that held $80,000 secret compartment. Right. Every time I look in it, there's no $80,000. Yeah. I'd like to find 100.
Remember when you had the dollars and the fives and the tens? You just throw them to the side,
buddy. I was
and then
nothing.
you'd give that to your kids. Just
I didn't.
I know you didn't, but I'm just saying. As an example.
No, by the time my kids were born, I'd already been busted for the second time.
You didn't even respect money. Because you were looking at the $100 bills.
I would have a stack of 1,000 or two to go out for the
every night that you went out, you had 1,000.
No, if I went I remember at the corner of my house was a little bagel place, and they had a $3.95 breakfast or whatever, paper.
Jewish.
Oh yeah, a little place, but it was the closest place to my house. Everybody went there,
and you always.
So I went in, or even the other place around the corner, and I have to try to pull a 20 out of all the hundreds. I'm just kind of slowly. Oh, here you go, because I want to pay, because I didn't want the whole pile of money to come out. So you did this, and how long did that last while you were in the company? Because I know you said
I was bought out by my partners in 2005.
So how many years did that go? 3 years?
4 years.
4 years.
5 years.
So you were just killing it.
Yeah, killing it.
I remember. Didn't you tell me you took a Learjet to the Masters one time, and then?
No, not a Learjet. I took a Falcon 50.
Bigger. That's like 3 times the size of a Learjet.
And then I had a Hawker 800, and then
bigger than
my partner said, "We're gonna get some private jets. We're gonna buy 100 hours apiece." I go, "No, now we're getting too big." And I told Marshall, and Marshall was loaded from before, from Palm Island and Miami. And Marshall goes, "I think Orlando's losing his mind." And he goes, "Either you all get your own 100 hours, or I'm going to charge you for," because he went to NetJets.
Yeah, of course.
I went to Air, Sea, and Sky in Fort Lauderdale. So I had to fly out with my kids always. But 100 hours is 100 hours to be flying.
Well, that's what happens is each partner
there's nothing
wants
like flying private.
No, it's great.
Then we bought a Sunseeker 75-footer. And then I just started to go crazy.
That's when you started spending money.
Watches, everything.
Yeah. I remember you had...
I didn't care. Going through a divorce, thinking that, and all of a sudden, boom.
Right,
to another level.
So you were going through a divorce, thinking you were going to be broke. All of a sudden, this thing takes off, and you're.
You know why I always think it's not that.
Well, the divorce breaks your money up. Not broke, but you're going to lose your. Yeah.
No, but my ex-wife, the mother of my children, we were going through it. We were always up to here, even though I always made it work. But I knew for some reason this was going to be a home run.
Well, you had it right here.
I had it.
Yeah.
I had it.
Yeah, man.
I knew it.
Yeah.
And we did it.
Unbelievable.
But then other things happen. Maybe we'll go over that.
We can, but we do want to. We want to try to tell the whole story. But so you were making so much. I remember you were buying what was not Ike Behr.
$6 million a year I used to take in my pocket.
$6 million a year, and you were buying shirts. Wouldn't you tell me the time you bought remember you
$10,000 and spending $200,000 on my. Not yours. You came in when I was broke.
I know.
And you helped me out with your gold card. Remember? But I used to have the Black Centurion card.
Yeah.
Okay, and I used to spend about, not that I'm proud of it, but $200,000 a month and just partying. But not party of drugs and all that. Just making sure that everyone was taken care of.
Well, the thing in meeting him, he invites me down one time to Miami Beach,
He got me
Coral
broke,
Gables,
by the way.
Coral Gables, and we're sitting at a restaurant, and some of the most famous people in Miami are there. And the way the Latins work in Miami is, it's kind of like you have lunch, and that lunch might last 3 hours, and people might come up and leave.
Cafe Abrache and Caramelo,
yeah,
with
with a cigar. You know, I remember, what was it? Arturo Fuente, Arturo Sandoval.
No. Carlos Fuentes and Arturo Sandoval.
And
Mike Bolness.
Mike Bolness was there. I remember Fuente owns the largest cigar company.
Open Six.
Yeah, and just sitting there, all of us smoking cigars. Remember right before
when I brought Buckus there.
No, yeah, and remember the time we went out and we got so drunk at Fifi's with Padilla.
With Carlos Padilla.
Padilla cigars. And
one of my closest friends.
And I remember getting in the car, and I was... and I said, dude, bombed. I go, we're smoking his hand rolls, from his personal humidor. I go, hey, who paid the bill? You go, don't worry about it. It's good. So about a month later, I found it on my American Express card.
Yeah, we had to go ahead and use Kenny for something.
Yeah.
I know he didn't get the good times. He got
now
the times.
Now I know why he invited me.
He was always there for me.
Yeah, we all did good. I didn't care. I'll never forget that night. We had a blast. And
I think I racked up like $10,000 on his gold card before I went in.
Yeah, you know how I got out.
And I still owe him that, by the way.
Yeah.
On the record, I still owe him that, and he'll get it. He'll get it back.
That's
Don't
true.
worry.
That's true.
Yeah.
One day. So
he always tells me all the time. He never forgets that.
No, I always remind him.
At the end of time.
Well, by the way, you haven't heard me. I've never asked.
He never asked me again, but I know.
Yeah, I don't have to ask.
There's going to be a time.
He knows now.
Yeah,
well, if you hit it big again.
Yeah, exactly.
But am I not? Listen.
No, I'm hitting it bigger here with you.
Right, and I'll tell you what. I'm
here with you because this is my first ever.
Well, here's
podcast
the thing.
Or whatever you want to call it.
On tape, I'm going to tell you, I'll be happy just to take 5 or 6, and you owe me no interest. I'll discount the loan.
Right, great. Great deal.
So,
great deal.
Tell us. So here's the deal.
Maybe I'm the Jew here. I'm the Cuban Jew here.
Here's the deal. We're driving. It comes down to it, and we're trying to fight it, and we're doing everything we can. It comes down to the day. Well, tell them the story about why you didn't get in trouble for the drug company. It was for tax evasion.
No, tax evasion.
Yeah, years later.
Was a disruption to the...
Yeah, but how many years later did they actually come after you?
4 years later.
Right.
And then I said, how's this happening? I paid millions of dollars in taxes. And it was for my buyout, the money... They say it, if you look at it on Google, okay, for not paying several $1 million in taxes.
Right.
Go to hell. I was a disruption. I found out later on through powerful people that I was a disruption. And they had to get me on something.
That's what it appears like. They can't, they just have to get you.
But that's what happens to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is not... Well, when you become somebody on...
The radar.
On the radar.
Yeah.
And then you think you're better than anybody else, which, not that I thought I was any better, but I was a little bit cocky.
But you never think you're better than another human being.
Boom, and it comes out of the case of Iowa. I've never been to Iowa in my life.
Right, I've seen that happen.
But then they came, they looked at my taxes, they found some little... They'll find in any loophole, in anybody on the planet.
Right.
And then they just want to get a conviction.
They went after you, brother.
It's like Trump. That's why they call me Trumpy.
Yeah,
because I'm always against all odds. And look at him. Now he's going to be president.
Well, he pulled that off. That's so, and maybe he'll be the 2028. It will be Alexis for president.
Well,
buddy, I know, but now that a convicted felon can be president, you got a shot at it, and so do I.
Yeah.
See,
I don't want that.
No.
Even if they told me.
No. That's let me tell you, going into this, that's the most thankless job. I understand it's the most powerful position on earth, but I'm not the kind of guy.
But he made it work against all odds. That's why I'm trying to tell you, when they say Trumpy, that Carlos Padilla called me back in the 90s, because everyone's hating, and I had to be against all odds, always.
Well, you did it. So I remember, you got charged with tax evasion. But what happened to your two partners prior to that, years earlier? Didn't they both?
Well, they went
get away?
in. They went in.
No,
at
did
the
they
same
go to
time
jail?
I did.
Did they,
at the same time I did.
But for the tax evasion or for the drug? Because didn't the drug?
No, they went in for
the
that.
drugs.
But then they beat the case.
Oh, really?
later
They got out.
Not me.
Right. Well, you didn't get
Tax
charged
eva-
for it.
I got charged for the tax evasion.
Right. But what I'm saying
On
to
a
you,
separate.
right.
Yeah.
But so selling the drug. Remember, selling the drugs on the internet was a gray area. Then they closed it down, and those guys kept going. Wasn't that story
Yes,
you told me?
yes, yeah. They kept going.
How many
for
years?
Just for like another year, but another year is 20 million.
Right, but it's also illegal.
You understand? Yeah.
They break,
Yeah.
And usually when you have a lot of money, you stall.
They had a cease and desist.
Yeah.
They
just blew
they
it.
shitted on it,
Yeah.
and then they went on.
And
But I wasn't involved.
I understand.
I'm in the shipping
right.
business.
You had right. I remember when you had the stuff on the docks. Remember we went down. I was down there with you.
My ship's in.
We had all those cars we had to get rid of.
Thinking about Cuba falling, so I could bring food.
Yes, exactly. So, right. I remember the whole thing. I remember being on Miami River. I remember the whole thing going down there.
Yeah, the 3 acres there,
Yep.
which I wish I still.
Remember we had all those cars there. You wanted me to get out of there. They had left them. The old people had left all those beater cars, and so you fought a good fight against the IRS and against that fight went on for a year and a half.
There's no fight there because I have an attorney that was against me.
Yep.
So
he was a scumbag.
Yeah, a scumbag.
But here's the thing that people.
I'm not going to mention names.
No.
Scumbag. And then I was put up in the whole thing. But you know what? It was the best time of my life.
Being in jail.
Was the best.
Really?
I went to Softly Field. I went into a hole for punching somebody, but that taught me life.
It's so
School
true.
of hard knocks.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I'm not scared.
well, I remember,
my dad said, "Make the best, no matter where you're at."
Yeah, I remember my father telling me as a kid. It's actually a paraphrase from a movie and from I think Winston Churchill, but says, "You have nothing to fear but fear itself." So people will say, "What's it like?"
I'm not scared of anything. So
people will say, "What's it like waking up in jail and you hear everybody scream?" You know what?
My dad
what choice
told
do
me,
you have?
Wherever you're at, make the best of wherever you're at.
Right, and like people would say. I remember the second time I got busted, I went in the middle of the night and there are all the cat calls and yelling and screaming what they're going to do to the new guy. In the morning, the light comes on, the door opens up, you got to walk out. You can't hide under your bunk.
What else are we going to do?
What else can you do? And he walked out, I had breakfast, and that was it.
I wasn't scared of anybody. They would try to go ahead and do something, go fuck yourself.
That's all you can do. You got to be yourself. And so you were looking, I think it took about a year and a half of going through court with the IRS thing.
No, about 2.5 years.
Was it that long?
Yeah,
I remember.
it was a long time.
Between man, and just.
But at the end of the game, they went, boom.
So we
3 years to max.
You got
my case,
you got all three of it. Did
but you know what? I look at it as an amazing time in my life.
We learned. Someone, and I'll ask you this.
And I had to become very humble.
Do you have any regrets?
No.
Same.
Never in my life.
Yeah, same.
I don't give a shit. I saw people kill themselves inside.
Yeah.
I saw
people die
There's
inside.
never been a regret in anything I've done.
Yeah, because I used to tell my kids, regret and hate are the most wasted emotions.
Resentfulness is the biggest killer of all.
Right. If you hate something, you resent, right? It eats at you.
And resentment's the biggest killer out of everything.
Yeah, it just eats you
Because
alive.
then people go do drugs.
Or do something stupid in their own lives or somebody else. Yeah. You flush your life down the toilet trying to get even with somebody that you should have just left.
You can't
move on.
Drive looking in the rearview mirror.
Well, that's a good way of putting it.
You crash.
Yeah.
You got to continue to look forward.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about yesterday? What are we going to do about 2 minutes ago?
And how many days do we have tomorrow?
What are we going to do about a minute ago?
Yeah. What's behind me, no matter. I have an old expression. Yeah. You might as well just rip the mirror off the car. Yeah. I wouldn't have changed it for anything.
And look how you are.
I'm doing great.
Still looking like Candy Bear to the end of time, right?
I mean, look, I got a great life, I mean, we talked about it earlier. My ex-wife passed this week. She was the mother of my children.
I give you the condolences.
Right, she had a hard life.
I know that's the mother of your children.
But what I have today with this beautiful wife of mine, the 4 great kids.
But that's what happened later, and what?
But that's because if you don't hang on to the past, you move forward.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you didn't even want to go out with anybody. You were
No.
with girls all the time.
I
and you
was-
said, Alexis, I'm never going to get married again. I will never find somebody again.
Yeah,
and
that's
boom.
true. I was.
It hit you right when you said that. It hit you.
My sister-in-law, I remember her. I said, "Man, I'm done. I really just try to date almost every girl in Fort Lauderdale." You know what it is? And this is my brother once said to me. He goes, "Man, you really like Cuban girls." And I go, "No, Cuban girls like me. I'm just taking the low-hanging fruit." But I did like Cuban girls. And what do I'm married to? A Cuban girl, part American, part Cuban, and I love this woman, and she loves me, and I'm just blessed, man.
When I saw all that happen,
You've seen it all. You remember the house I lived in, buddy? The ceiling was caving in.
But you took care of your kids.
Yeah, man, they took
to the number one part.
So I drop him off at Jet. Like he had a badass Range Rover, like the number one most expensive turbo. That got repoed, right? Remember, we were running and hiding it.
Danny.
Yeah, and even Pedro called me up and goes, "Kenny, why are you hiding this guy's car? I was helping you." And I know the guy that owned it. And I go, "Buddy, I'm trying to help a guy down and out. Come on." So I ended up giving him a Nissan, we'll never laugh, the Nissan Quest. And it was...
my kids, I go, "I'm going to have this Quest." Dad, let's not go around in the Quest anymore.
Yeah, my kids didn't want to be seen in it either. It had gold rims. It was like a goldish color. But man, that thing was comfortable.
It resolved everything I needed.
And didn't you like sitting up? Me and him would buy a minivan tomorrow, right? Not that I own one.
Maybe I should buy another Quest.
Yeah, maybe. Well, the thing is probably worth $800 today. I don't think it was worth more than 4 or 5 back then.
But you came through for me. That
brother,
was the most.
It was my pleasure.
It meant more than my Ferraris, my Porsches, my everything at that time.
And you had them all. So you did your 3 years. Were you in a camp or?
I went to a camp, but then I got fighting. Running the whole thing. Then I went into the hole for 6 months.
Oof.
Then he had to go. This guy that beat, and hit him kind of hard. And then all of a sudden, Alexis Arveo took control. And then all of a sudden, to the counties, then to Tallahassee, and all that.
End up in MCC.
But those were the best times. Being alone in the hole was the best. When I won it, I said, "What the hell am I going to do here?" They told me I'm going to be here for a while. And then you get used to it.
And your solitude.
And your mind starts to...
Really?
And you start to write
and
letters and read.
Yeah.
And play with yourself, too.
Well, I mean, there's nobody to bother you. It's a little different when you have 3 cellmates.
And he says, "Leave me alone. Play with myself."
Exactly.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's why you always want the top bunk. It can,
No, I had top, bottom, but I was by myself.
Yeah, I always
so
say
I put the towel right there.
Right, exactly.
I was controlled movement, so you had to go back.
Oh, boy.
So my kids used to ask me, "How many times, Dad, have you had handcuffs on you?" I go, "About 400 times," because it was controlled movement.
Right. Not that many, but I remember saying that I should get my own handcuffs so they don't have to, they fit better. Here you go. Here's the key. If you need, I have a key. You can have a key. But
all that stuff doesn't scare me. I didn't.
So now you did your 3 years. I think it was. You got out,
yes.
and you took a deep breath, and you did. If I remember correctly, you had.
Then I went through hell again.
Yeah.
Then I came.
And you built it, and then you made a bunch of money, and then blew it all. Yeah.
You still go. It's up and down. It's a wave.
It is, but here's the thing that I found, and as a drug dealer, I have friends of mine that were mafia guy, bookies, and.
Well, you met a lot of them.
Well, no, but too. I know people. Yeah, I know.
But you knew the old school.
Yeah,
still.
And what it is we know how to make money. It's hard to hang on to because when you first make money and it's fast money, and
it
you
was
make
easy for
and then you
now it's harder.
Of course, you got to make more.
But now we have more tools to preserve the wealth, but we just have to get.
Well, you're older now. You learn more. Yeah. So if you're out there, we just need a couple $1 million. I promise you, if we can each get $2 million, we'll hang on to it. Fair enough? No?
Yeah,
now we'll blow through it?
$1 million apiece. And then we have preserved wealth that everyone's taken care of.
All right. So if everybody wants to send $1 to me and to Alexis each to the Save.
No, I really don't want.
No,
I don't want no one to send me $1 of nothing.
That's the old super
And everyone
sale.
knows me.
Yeah.
I don't want $1 from anybody.
I make my own money. I don't need any help. Anyway, I think we did. We heard a great story, brother, and I thank you for coming
To my first podcast ever with Kenny Behr,
and
my brother.
we hope you'll come back and watch many more of my podcasts, and I'm sure Alexis will be back as he builds more stories in the crazy life of Miami.
Oh, we got a lot more. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, there's more to come. Thanks, folks. Tune in next time to One Step Over the Line. True stories about people's lives that have made a big step going one step over the line, and then the stories back about their, if we can say, use the word redemption. Here we are.